Good to see you again. Hardly a single day goes by without one or two automobile crashes in Nigeria, be it fatal, serious, or minor accidents. And we should be concerned about the situation. And this is exactly where we go tonight on the program. Good evening and welcome. Nigeria can be classified as a modest, heavily motorized country where road transport is the dominant mode of movement for both freight and passenger traffic. It is a well-known fact that towards the end of and beginning of every year, there is usually an upsurge in the proportion and absolute number of road traffic fatalities on major highways and road networks in the cities and towns across the country. In a traditional approach, the problem we are trying to solve here is that of road traffic accidents. But in-depth studies and analysis over the years indicated that human factor accounts for 90% of road crashes in Nigeria and other climes. Statistics by FRSC indicates that 1,618 people lost their lives through road traffic accidents between December 2018 and February 2019. Details of that show that 20 were involved in road crashes within this period, while a total of 5,181 persons died in 2018. Now, the accidents involved minibuses, trucks, trailers, tankers, cars, motorcycles, and tricycles, with FCT and Kaduna recording highest occurrences. As the year 2019 draws to a close, there is apprehension about what could happen on the nation's network of roads as vehicular movements gather momentum during the Yuletide period. Questions may arise as to what is the major, or rather the state of major Nigerian roads, especially in the flashpoint areas such as Lagos Ibadan, Lokoja Abuja, and Kaduna Zaria axis. What is the level of preparedness of concerned authorities to curb carnage on our roads? We will deliberate on all the issues and possible solutions proffered to the lingering problem. My name is Kirian Umayo, and this is Weekend File. The news is first. Heads of state and government of the Africa, the Caribbean, and the Pacific group of nations are holding a crucial summit in Nairobi, Kenya, on how the emerging global players' future in the will be transformed. Usman Ali reports that Nigeria is making significant relevance in this bloc.
Caribbean and Pacific group of nations is an emerging global player comprising 79 countries from the diverse region of the world, formed in 1985. The group conducts summits such as this one to deliberate on key development challenges facing their members and chart a course for greater sustainability and economic self-sufficiency. The Council of Ministers meeting is one of the major engagements of Africa, Caribbean and Pacific group of nations. In this summit, issues tabled include the appointment of Secretary General for the group for 2020 to 2025. It is done on a rotational basis. And this time is the turn of Southern African region to produce the next Secretary General. Angola, Malawi and Zimbabwe have indicated interest in that position. Meanwhile, Nigeria, which is leading West African region, is asking the group to consider high-level positions to that region in the next leadership.
Given the roles that we play and our contributions to ACP, I felt that we deserve such a high-level position. Our position is working with the post-Cotonou negotiations that are currently going on, that those two indices which are beneficial to Nigeria and our sub-region should be part of the agreements.
President of the Council of ACP Ministers, Patrick Pruch, and the outgoing Secretary General of the group, Patrick Gomez, suggested ways which members of the group can promote partnership, including provision of common markets among members of various NTA News.
24 fuel-laden trucks have been seized on their way out of the country by men of the National Border Drill around the Dioroko border post. Adeni Taiwo reports.
Laden trucks, 24 in all, were intercepted within the 20-kilometer border off limit by operatives of the National Border Drill, comprising the Nigerian Customs Service, the Nigerian Army, and other security agencies. They were said to have been abandoned by their drivers on sighting the operatives.
It shows the desperation, and it shows that the drill officers are really on top of it. Because when people start going to the extreme, it means that the man who is doing the job has actually sealed it up.
As the Nigerian Customs Service and other relevant agencies continue their onslaught against smuggling in Nigeria, those involved in this illicit business are coming up with these ingenious ways of doing their business. The latest of such is an attempt to smuggle petroleum products in a casket. 13 jerry cans of 25 liters and 6 jerry cans of 10 liters of petrol were discovered hidden in 2 caskets on their way to a neighboring country by eagle-eyed officers of the Special Task Force.
You close the known borders, people become very desperate to use unexpected means to move things.
To be steps ahead of daredevil smugglers, the level of synergy among agencies in the joint border management must remain high.
Because if you look at it in terms of security, there has been a downward trend in the transnational organized crimes at the rate, particularly smuggling, irregular migration, and most of things which you have seen right here before you.
The team later visited the Ogun Area 1 Command Headquarters, Ediroko, and held a closed-door roundtable to fine-tune strategies. Ediroko is one of the land borders affected by the order of the federal government suspending supply of petroleum products to 20-kilometer radius of border community.
Thank you, Adeni. Now, a federal high court sitting in Port Harcourt has sentenced a 56-year-old and former bank manager with the defunct Cooperative Development Bank, Adekunle Benedict Yobe, to 2.5 years in prison for conspiracy and granting of unauthorized loan valued at 7.62 million naira.
The case was instituted by the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice on behalf of the federal government in 2001. Following the complaint by the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, against the convict for conspiracy and abuse of office. He was arraigned on a 6-count charge bordering on conspiracy and granting of unauthorized loans. Before the judgment, counsel to the accused, John Dada, appealed to the court for leniency, noting that the accused is suffering from prostate cancer. Justice Ayokunle Olayinka Faji, in his judgment, also ordered the convict to refund 7.62 million naira within 6 months to NDIC. NTA News made attempts to get counsels to the parties speak, but they declined comment. In Port Harcourt, Yanukume Ulolu, NTA News.
Traditional institutions have been described as indispensable segments of the society that should be valued in all ramifications for peace, cohesion, and prosperity. Chairman, Oriental Group, Muhammadu Indimi, made this assertion when the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Omar Gabrai Al-Amin El-Kanemi, visited the business mogul at his residence in Maiduguri. Abubakar Muhammad Musa tells us more.
The visit to the residence of Chairman Oriental Group, Muhammad Indimi, by the Sheikh of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Umar Garbay Al-Amin Al-Kanemi, is to personally express profound appreciation to the business mogul for the support extended to the royal father during his visit to Spain recently for medical treatment. Sheikh of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Umar Garbay Al-Amin Al-Kanemi, who was overwhelmed with joy for the warm reception accorded him at the residence of Indimi, said the thank you visit is one of the traditions of the El-Kanemi dynasty and Borno Emirate Council in general.
It is important and worthy for me to come and say thank you very much to him, because last 2 or 3 months back, I used to go to the mosque by road, but now I don't even use sticks sometimes. I can even ride, even this Friday. I attended the Friday congregations without using a car.
Receiving the monarch, Muhammad Indimi acknowledged the pivotal role being played by traditional institutions in the society, especially in sustaining peaceful coexistence among diverse ethnic and religious pedigrees. Special prayers were offered for God to continue to guide and protect Muhammad Indimi. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Muhammad Musa, NTA News.
Towards attaining food sufficiency in the country, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria is set to commence the process of monitoring, evaluation and accreditation of the research institutes alongside federal colleges of agriculture. These were the submissions of the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development at the 44th Combined Convocation Ceremony of Federal College of Agriculture, Ishiago, in Ebonyi State. Chinasa John reports.
One of the major focus of the economic recovery and growth plan policy of President Buhari-led administration is to minimize the country's overdependence on the oil sector. To achieve this, many policies have been developed while agricultural institutions strengthened for a new roadmap on agriculture. While commending the Provost, Federal College of Agriculture Ishiago for the various innovations towards making agriculture attractive to the students, the minister, represented by the Acting Executive Secretary, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Professor Garba Sharubutu, said 2 committees made up of experts in agriculture have been set up as a way to ensure food security and economic growth.
This is a government of no nonsense, which is committed to move the country out of poverty. You are also aware that the government has introduced the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan as a measure to alleviate poverty, in which agriculture is central to it.
The provost of the college, representative of Governor David Umahi, and other speakers said government has made available incentives for enhanced food production.
That all these graduates, all of you, are going to be veritable instruments in our initiative towards zero oil economy.
There are some values you should hold dear, and this includes honesty, integrity, hard work, appreciation of fairness and equity.
For Nigeria to be #1 advanced nation in the world, and agriculture is the answer.
The 44th Combined Convocation Ceremony covers 2,512 graduates of 2016 to 2019 academic sessions. Highlights were the conferment of awards of fellowship on President Muhammadu Buhari and other distinguished Nigerians, as well as commissioning of Provost Lodge and hostel accommodations. From Federal College of Agriculture, Ishiago, Chinaza John, NTA News.
The Department of State Services, DSS, says that none of its personnel were involved in the incident that took place at the courtroom in Abuja during the proceedings on the case of Omoyele Sowore, but was a mere drama orchestrated by Sowore and his supporters. A statement by the DSS spokesman Peter Afanaya says that with the video in circulation and from the latest developments, it has become obvious that the intention of such mischief is simply to serve as a propagandist disrepute. The DSS, as a professional, responsible and law-abiding organization, could not have invaded a courtroom, including the one presided over by a respected judge who is not only handling its cases, but whose order was unconditionally obeyed within a 24-hour ultimatum. The service holds the judiciary in utmost respect and will continue to work with it for national peace and public safety in Nigeria. The service is committed to the discharge of its mandate of detecting and preventing threats against the internal security of Nigeria. Now, more on security matters. Now, the Nigerian Army is to convert Kuyambana Forest in Kaduna State to a military training ground to deter bandits from the area. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukul Buratai, announced this at the closing ceremony of the 2019 Chief of Army Staff Conference in Kaduna.
Kuyambana Forest, a vast ungoverned land spanning through Kaduna to Zamfara State. The area is suitable for agriculture, provides safe haven for bandits and kidnappers terrorizing parts of northwestern Nigeria. The proposed army training camp in Kuyambana will disperse criminals from the forest, restore peace and security to the area.
We have undeniably achieved so much in the area of security. These achievements are attributable to the focus and exemplary leadership Mr. President has provided to the Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agencies.
Recent innovations by the Nigerian Army can facilitate the much desired military-industrial development.
We believe that in no distant future, the Nigerian Army would not only be self-sufficient in the production of its raw materials, but will be competing favorably in the global market in military supplies and procurement.
General Tuku Buratai also inspected and inaugurated projects at the Nigerian Defense Academy, Jaji, Kaduna State. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has graduated a combined elite force known as a Special Force Regiment in Kaduna as part of its capacity building drive for the protection of critical air assets and national security. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikum has the details.
Complex and changing nature of operational environments, coupled with uncertainty of military operations, informed the training and retraining of various specialties. Practical skills in tackling threats to human life and air assets within the Nigerian Air Force bases and commands. Out of the 717 students of regiment and air police specialties trained, 512 underwent basic regiment training course, 40 attended advanced regiment airman course, while 64 were drilled on gunnery course.
The Air Force is very much, the Royal Air Force is very much moving into a mentoring role. So we're coming back and we're helping make sure the trainers are passing on the information properly.
Deliberately conducted to promote inter-unit synergy in the conduct of ground operations.
I'm sure you are aware in December 2013 we lost some helicopters in Maiduguri because the base was attacked and we didn't have the required base defense force on ground at that time. So that actually informed our decision to seek for support.
The injection of these specialties in previous regiment training since 2015 has opened a new vista for personnel of the Nigerian Air Force to effectively conduct ground and air military operations in environments that are uncertain. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, NTA News.
Suspected vandals who were allegedly responsible for destroying petroleum pipeline resulting in an explosion which claimed one life at Isheri Olofi in Kando area of Lagos State have been paraded by the police command in Lagos. Annie Daniels was there.
We are in 3 different groups, have one thing in common. They specialize in vandalizing and cutting away petroleum products in drums and sacks.
One of my friends, now they work this work, so I don't have money. That is why I'm calling him. I said I don't have money. He said he didn't get work. Now I come ask him which kind of work. He said this fuel work.
It's one of our friends.
This petrol, this is chemical, not oil, but oil.
The Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer, Bala Elkanah, says the police is determined more than before to rid the state of criminal elements.
A search also carried out revealed some of those things we have recovered. A lot of petroleum products that we are stock in different containers, jerry cans, and even drums, and concealed in different places. And some of them concealed in a block, some of them also covered with sand.
Lagos State Commissioner of Police, through the intervention of the state government, has put in place security measures for a safer Lagos by providing 100 power bikes and deploying officers to the traffic division to ease traffic within the state during and after the Yuletide in Lagos. Annie Daniels, NTA News.
There must be an institutional framework in media operations that will ensure that security checks are conducted before transmission of information. This is one of the submissions of media key players at the commemoration of World Television Day lecture organized by Tulsali Television in collaboration with National Broadcasting Commission in Abuja. Debola Brooksland Sunday has the report.
It was on the 31st of October 1959 that history was made in the ancient city of Ibadan, southwest Nigeria, with the launch of the first TV station in Africa. These content providers, signal distributors, and other media chief executives converged to commemorate the World Television Day in Nigeria. Their mission is to deliberate on how to balance freedom with security in a digital broadcast environment.
These new broadcast channels pose existential threat to traditional publications and broadcasters in other ways.
Acting Director of News NTA, Halima Musa, represented the Director General, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad.
There are a lot of platforms by way of programs and interviews and even the news reports where we tend to strike a balance. Talk to the people and then give the government perspective.
We should be able to balance while we're putting out information. We should be able to be responsible for our action.
Adequate funding, key players say, will enable Nigeria be at par with other developed countries in terms of broadcasting.
At the snail speed we are moving now, I don't think we can cover the entire country in the next.
Internet protocol platform is the next level in digital broadcasting the world over. Another challenge for signal distributors. Nigeria currently has about 600 functional registered broadcast media outfits. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni has constituted State Executive Council and special advisors. Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports that the governor reminded the appointees to consider their selection as call to service that requires a lot of sacrifices.
These are the 20 newly appointed commissioners and 20 special advisors taking their oath of office and allegiance of duty during their swearing-in at the Banquet Hall in Government House, Damaturu. Presided over by Governor Mola Boni, the event attracted hundreds of political and public office holders within and outside the state, in addition to party loyalists, traditional rulers, relatives of the appointees. In a speech, Governor Mola Boni charged the commissioners to be innovative and remain resolute in the task of uplifting the living standards of people in the state. Governor Buni reminded the appointees that his administration has set as its priority transforming the education sector, particularly basic and secondary education, agriculture, healthcare delivery, and empowerment.
It is within our reach to ensure that our children have the best possible opportunities for a good education, that our farmers have the support they need to make Yobe State the food basket of the nation.
In Damaturu, Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
The Kwara State Governor, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, has felicitated with the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who turned 68, wishing the minister a happy birthday on behalf of the people and government of Kwara State. The governor, according to a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Rauf Ajakaye, acknowledged the role played by Alhaji Lai Mohammed in the journey of APC to power in Nigeria and in Kwara State. He also commended the continuous contributions of the celebrant to national development while praying God to grant him long life and good health. The program is Weekend File on the network service of NTA. Incessant road traffic crashes in the last quarter of safe as 2019 draws to an end. Correspondence reports will set the tone for a conversation that follows. That's next.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Steel Development cordially invites all metallurgical industry operators, captains of industry, heads of parastatals, the academia, all other stakeholders and the public to the second Nigeria Metallurgical Industry Stakeholders Forum, an engagement with the Southeast Geopolitical Zone. Theme: Building Local Capacities for the Development of Nigeria Metals Sector. Date: Monday 9th to Tuesday 10th December 2019. Venue: Immaculate Golden Hotel, Plot 130, Ikenegbo Layout, opposite Fidelity Bank, Owerri, Imo State. Time: 9 a.m. daily. The forum envisaged to reposition the metal sector to contribute towards Nigeria's economic diversification and industrialization will be declared open by His Excellency Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, the Executive Governor of Imo State, signed Dr. Abdul Kadri Muazu, Permanent Secretary.
It is another morning, not just an ordinary time. Start of a new day. A new beginning. As you prepare everyone for the long day ahead, just anything is not enough. It is only you who makes breakfast special. You make them creamy. You make them tasty. You add vitamins and nutrients we need for a delightful, healthy start to the day.
So start your day right with Hollandia Evap.
Hollandia Evap. Life tastes different. Hollandia.
In furtherance of Government Integrated Financial Management Information System (GIFMIS) project aimed at promoting accountability, probity and transparency in governance, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, wishes to announce the official launch of the Federal Government Financial Transparency Policy and Open Treasury Portal by the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, scheduled as follows. Date, Monday, 9th December 2019. Venue, International Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. All federal government ministries, departments and information transactions to the web portal for the general public to access. Public confidence in governance is key. Ahmed Idris, FCNA, Accountant General of the Federation, announcer.
The Senate Committee on National Planning and Economic Affairs, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, hereby notifies all already invited guests to a 2-day retreat on economic and development planning for Nigeria. Date, Monday night and Tuesday, 10th December 2019. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Venue, Ogun Nasarawa Hall, Level 2, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Chief Host, Distinguished Senator Olubumi Adetumbi, Chairman, Senate Committee on National Planning and Economic Affairs. Mrs. Zainab S. Ahmed, Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning. Prince Clem E. Agba, Honorable Minister of State, Budget and National Planning. Committee Chairman, Announcer.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka, no panic.
There's me no panic.
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Press OK. Wow, now you self fit catch all those channels with the one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your group for no loss. You see as I do, Abi? And I see as I do,
Go TV. Live it. Love it.
And I see as we do,
My name is Giato Adeza Adams, the General Manager, Corporate and Strategic Communications, Nigerian Port Authority. As regards the land borders closure, available statistical data from APMT, which is one of our terminal operators that is involved in container handling terminal, has recorded an increase of 200 TEUs of cargoes into their terminal as a result of cargo diversion from the vessels originally meant for neighboring countries. That shows you that the terminal operators is going to have an increase in revenue, which is accrued to the terminal, and at the same time, Nigerian Port Authority will equally benefit from the revenue increase. So that is the benefit we have derived from the border closure.
The Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development invites you to the second National
December 2019 by 8 a.m. from the Eagle Square to the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. The anti-corruption marathon is with the support of the Federal Ministry of Health, Ministry of Aviation, Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Nigeria Olympic Committee, Athletics Federation of Nigeria, the ICPC, Public Complaints Commission, Code of Conduct Bureau, Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, National Hajj Commission, African Union Sports Council Region 2, the NTA, FRCM, Bet Niger, and Fair Play Sports International. Join us as we use sports to eradicate corruption in Nigeria. Anti-Corruption Marathon, using sports to fight corruption.
Well, thank you for staying with us up to this moment. Let's begin from Lagos, where the new orientation among motorists has shifted from overspeeding kills to alcohol destroys faster. This is as a result of intensified campaigns by key players in the transport sector, especially this festive season. Michael Olale reports.
Within the space of 3 months, the Ogun State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps recorded a total of 80 deaths along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, in addition to an upward trend in road traffic crashes by 43% compared to last year. Although the causes of these road traffic crashes vary, constitute 7 to 60% of all road crashes, according to the U.S. Department of Health. In Lagos State, ban on sales of alcohol at motor parks is receiving sizable compliance, although motorists and commuters still find a way to satisfy their appetites.
Alcohol selling is about 100 meters away. We didn't allow it at our parks.
As a way out of this challenge, the Federal Road Safety Corps is extending its campaign to parks to reorientate the people.
All our patrol vehicles now has these digital breathalyzers inside it. So it's a case of you look at the way somebody is coming and you randomly pick on somebody and say he should pull over, and you breathalyze him to know whether he's under the influence of alcohol. And if he is under the influence of alcohol, that is the end of the journey. You know, you terminate it there, because a drunk driver is a crash looking for where to happen.
One major area the agency is still fighting tooth and nail is dealing with the problem of overloading, especially for motorists that are still in the era of 34 sitting and 99 standing.
We have started coping on all those practices from the back. All those ones that use plank to extend as their boots, we are cutting them up from source.
Traffic managers and safety agencies are, however, spreading their tentacles in the quest to ensure safety and sound motoring environment during the festivity. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NT News.
Now, Chidi Okafor in Enugu tells us about the build-up of traffic congestion in the eastern part of the country and measures being put in place to ensure a free flow of traffic.
Observation shows that traffic situation in some major roads and flashpoints in Enugu has increased as the Yuletide approaches. In the same vein, road traffic signs have been mounted in strategic places in the city as road rehabilitation work is ongoing in federal roads like Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway, Amansi and Oji River portions of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, while one lane of the 18-kilometer Omonia Road has been completed.
For Enugu State, we have no fears that movement will be issue-free during the Yuletide season. The Ministry of Recent came up with a very new innovation of mounting directional signs. Enugu State is not an exemption.
From Onitsha, the Federal Road Safety Corps, Anambra State Command, and other traffic management agencies in the state have embarked on sensitization of road users and also deploy personnel to some flashpoints like River Niger Head Bridge, Opiweka, Tre Road, and Boromi Roundabout, which usually witness heavy traffic, to ensure free movement of vehicles during the festive season.
We are ready. We have started our campaign. We have been going to passing road safety messages to them. Areas that are noted for traffic gridlock, you see our men there fully. We have started.
Those of them that are entering vehicles should ensure they enter vehicle at the relevant parks and bus stops.
With the Yuletide fast approaching, Motorists are reminded by road management officials to remain disciplined and observe all traffic regulations. In Enugu, Chidi Okrafo, NTA News.
Activities at motor parks in Kano State are beginning to build up, and of course people travel in and out of that state day and night, as Elizabeth Yela Lamido reports.
End of the year is usually characterized with a beehive of hustle and bustle. People try to meet up with deadlines before the year runs out. The story is no different here in the center of commerce, as the Yuletide season is swamped with activities, hence an increase in the number of people traveling to and from the state. While some travel during the day, others prefer to go on night journey.
I'm standing in New Road Motor Park in Sabongari, Kano, where most people going to the eastern and western parts of this country take night luxurious buses to their destinations. I spoke with some of them, and this is what they had to say.
If you're traveling on a long journey and you enter morning, you feel so tired. That is why I want to travel in the night, so that there will be no go slow, there will be no delay.
No, we are in Nigeria. What do you do? Whatever you see, just join.
Safety, and the night, the road is free. The road is not congested.
We go to the park, especially during period like this when people travel most. I'm talking about Ember Month. We visit the drivers, talk to them, discourage them from driving at night. We even talk to the passengers, because sometimes it is a passenger that insists in traveling at night.
Kabiru Daura further called on the general public to exercise caution while traveling and avoid taking unnecessary risks, as to be forewarned is to be forearmed. In Kano, Elizabeth Yilalamido, NTA News.
And this is Weekend File. Well, Boboye Oyeme is the Corps Marshal of the Federal Safety Commission, and he joined
Wonderful family, meet our active triplets. Mixology, for example, mixes well with drinks. Then enjoy every quick meal with Slurp It Off. And everywhere you go, there is Go-Gurt.
Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power of protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy, Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good. Hollandia.
Breakfast your day. Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, fearless, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem with pride to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
It is the lead we should take to honor the memory of the gallant hearts of the men who paid the supreme sacrifice to keep the country united.
President Muhammadu Buhari enjoins all ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to these accounts. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
I'm tired. I want to check out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down. Do you have a job where you're going to?
No, but someone is arranging,
Listen, Aliko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. You know, I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing end up in
You're welcome back, and we'll now go over to Corps Marshal Boboye Oyemi, who is in our Lagos studio. Good evening and welcome to Weekend File.
Good evening.
All right, now the festive period is fast approaching, and how prepared is the Commission in managing the anticipated deluge of traffic on major highways?
Thank you. We have observed increase in vehicular density nationwide, and it's associated with this period of the year, with Yuletide season, when people are moving back on vacations, celebrations till the new year. And we have mapped out all our strategies. We just completed a two-day strategy session. We have redeployed all the vehicles that will be used for the end of the year patrol, from the patrol vehicles to the ambulances, recovery vehicles, and the bikes. And we are paying attention to the areas that the contractors have moved back to the sites, which have been done to ensure the prompt traffic control and removal of obstructions. I believe the planning for this year is much better than last year, and we'll be able to deliver. But we need the support of the road users. The critical EU is impatient, which has been analyzed before. But we believe that with 24/7 patrol operations and proper planning by road users, we should be able to get it right this year. We've been on days, and with the traffic radio coming on board now, we'll be able to give the proper traffic situation 24/7 and be able to give alternate routes where necessary in case there's an observed gridlock nationwide. But so far so good, I think, with our cooperation with the other security agencies, we're going to have an improved end of the year patrol operations.
All right, lucrative season for commercial drivers, especially those who embark on long distances. There's the tendency for them to cut corners through overloading, consumption of alcohol, and other sharp practices.
These are the two critical areas that we are focused on. If you listen to what the Lagos State Sector Commander was saying the other time, we appreciate the support of Guinness and the UNITA, plus the beer group of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria that contributed to the digital equalizer. So I think we have the resources now to conduct the test, random tests from the motor parks and also on the highway. So that's one. So like you said, if you are positive, then you are grounded. So you cannot continue on your journey. And we are working with the NURTW to ensure that before they leave the parks, we conduct a random alcohol test on the drivers. I've already mandated all the fleet operators to do the same as per the regulation mandating them to do this. Overloading is one of the biggest headaches today in the country. If you have seen our Facebook and the Twitter pages, you will have seen a lot of problems. The kind of overloading we're experiencing now, you wonder whether it's a movie or just a Photoshop, but the reality is that we are really battling with the overloading. It's a real menace that we need to really tackle, and it's causing crashes when a vehicle carries more than the capacity that is designed to do. I think we are having problems with it, because when you look at the EU of tires, the tires are designed to carry a specific weight, and when you now overload the vehicle, and you're on the highway with the temperature rising now, we've observed increase in the temperature already predicted by NIMEX before. So you experience tire blowouts. The implication is that the vehicle behind you and the passengers plus the load now becomes a major problem. Then tire burst, vehicle somersaults, then lives are lost, the road is blocked. These are the major hindrances we are battling with. And let me use this opportunity again to appeal to all these drivers who are not ready to change. If you see the scenario in our Saba office, we ensure that they don't move. But from the motor park now, I've directed all the patrol teams in all the 690 formations to ensure that this overloading with the NURTW and RTA, and we will really tackle it. The other aspect also has to do with the tanker drivers carrying firewoods and tomatoes. on top of the tanker. This is poisonous. You cannot put tomatoes on top of a tanker with the fumes on it, and you now take it to the market to get it sold. It becomes a major problem. Then, as from next year, we are going to carry out a major road safety audit on all these tankers, trailers, trucks nationwide, and many of them are not designed for the capacity they are carrying. They may be off the road, but we just want to finish the Yuletide season, and we start this before the end of them. We're already working on this with NNPC and the major marketers, as well as with NUPENG. All the vehicles that are not designed for the purpose, we pick them off the road, because we're having challenges with all these trucks, tankers. About 90% of them are over 30 years, and we need to just take them off the road. They're involved in crashes. Why we're experiencing more crashes involving tankers and trailers is because those heads of those vehicles, they're not designed for the load they're pulling, and the effect is that when the weight pushes the vehicle, it leads to the brake failure, and then inappropriate maintenance of vehicles is also responsible for this. So generally, overloading is something we're going to tackle. Is a three-dimensional area, and we work on this. I think with the strategy session, the commanding officers have been briefed, and I think we are ready.
Has the technology to detect overspeeding, as it were. And I want to let you appreciate this, that traffic crashes in Nigeria was considered a crisis at a point in our history, and that led to the establishment of FRSC in 1988. Now, would you say that the drive culture of Nigerians, has been changed over time with respect to, in terms of the kind of records you have on an accident? I've just read through your publications on the rate of accident, especially last year, 2018, which is quite huge.
If you observe my comments since the middle of the year till date, we've raised alarm about a slight increase in the road traffic crashes by 4.5%, and as well as the fatalities. Nigeria is not an isolated case when you look at the global trend. The UN Decade of Action in 2010, the baseline, stipulated that the global crash record was 1.2 million. By the time we were having the last review 3 months ago, it has gone to 1.35 million. The major problem has to do with the speed. The speed violation accounts for 50% of our road traffic crashes in the country. And we have radar guns. And that was why we compel the commercial drivers to install the speed limiting device. I've told the new president of NURTW that this must be at full compliance. We are not going back. I must appreciate the efforts of the fleet operators about the compliance, and the articulated drivers are fixing this. But the issue of speed is something we really need to tackle. I quite agree with you. And I must commend the efforts of the government. The contractors are back on site now. The work is going on. If you look like the example you made, you look at Lagos Ibadan, by the time that road is completed, it will be like a runway, even a major runway. So the speed is going to be an issue. We continue to improve on the advocacy, education and enlightenment, but it's something I must focus on in 2020 because the major cause of road traffic crashes. We are putting in our best, and I think we are getting more logistics before the end of the year to inject into the existing ones. And I believe have a sound vehicle does not mean you go at 240, 200 kilometers per hour. You are inviting death for yourself. But what we need is restraint, attitudinal change of road users, and to appreciate the efforts of the law enforcement agencies in combating this. I quite agree with you and what the efforts we are making to ensure that we stem this.
Now, what may appear to be the final question would be the powers of FRSC with respect to enforcing the traffic rules and regulations. We oftentimes find out that your men will rather try to appear correctional, than actually indicting somebody on the spot and making the person to pay. Does it mean that the law establishing the FRSC did not empower it to enforce, especially when you see people driving, one way, and your men will be trying to ask ask the person to please come in, join the line, and all of that. Should that be, or are you, don't you have the powers to do something?
When you look at what the law says, you will have the 4-point approach in respect of this, the persuasion approach, the education, subtle force, and enforcement, and the discretionary power of the patrol team leader. If you take a one-way and the patrol team decides to ask you to return back and take the correct lane, I think it's fair. And if the patrol team decides to book you, it's another thing. But for the end of the year patrol like this, we are focusing more on traffic control and to ensure the free flow of vehicle. So if we see some recalcitrant drivers during this period and we just correct them to continue their I can't book all the offenders, but if you want me to start booking all of them instead of being corrective, I don't think we're not going to make any progress. Let's be more corrective during the youth season. Those who are taking one way, we correct them to turn back and take the correct lane than for us to book everybody. Then it will mean we're going to have a gridlock. Let us apply the human face during the youth season. Let us educate the road users. Let them appreciate the efforts of the Corps on the highway and other state traffic management agencies that are partnering with us and the police. I appreciate the efforts of the Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police and other paramilitary organizations. Let all Nigerians appreciate all these efforts and change their attitudes towards use of phone while driving. That's number one. Or facing oncoming traffic, that's route violation, traffic light violations, overloading, and unplanned journeys. What we also experience that we experience more crashes involving private drivers than commercial during the youth season because many of them are not used to highway driving. There's a difference between the urban and highway. So, and we've offered to assist them to when you want to drive, you want to travel with your family, and you don't have a driver, but it's not free. You must pay to the account of FRSC. We give a qualified driver to take you to your destination, and you pay all the allowances and insurance, and we come back. But I believe on this, let's embark on persuasion approach during the youth season. Let's use that to reorientate road users and step down a little bit on enforcement aspect.
All right, Mr. Boboyo Yemi, we'd like to thank you for educating us once more, and of course, we also appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed.